Today I'm going to show you guys 5 things that I wish I knew about Arc Raiders before I started playing. So let's go. So the first thing I want to tell you guys is that you shouldn't be afraid of 2x events. And you shouldn't be afraid of special events, because most people, including myself, spend the first 30 to 40 hours without actually doing the 2x events because we're afraid we're going to be put into an area where there's other players who are way more experienced than us, and we're not going to be able to keep up with them. And if you are a PvP player, that could be true. But if you've been mostly non-aggressive this entire time, you'll see that a lot of people in these 2x events are actually super friendly and they're willing to help you. And I would stick to the Hurricane event in Buried City and Blue Gate. I would stick to night raids in Dam Battlegrounds and Electromagnetic Storms. I would recommend sticking to Hidden Bunker on Spaceport and the Locked Gate event on the Blue Gate. You can also help out with the Harvester event and Matriarch event. Just try and dip your toe in a bit earlier than waiting 30 to 40 hours. Don't be afraid of it. It'll be fine. And if you want to do 2x events and you want to be able to do it safely, then you could do Hurricanes or you could do Cold Snaps, as there are Raider keys. Now, I would highly recommend using Raider hatch keys when you're doing raids. Always have one on you. I'm going to clean up this mess a little bit and then I'll show you a little bit more about that. So Raider hatch keys are very, very important in this game. And the reason why they're so important is because they allow you to extract when you're pretty much ready to extract on a map where you can, and you don't want to have to go to the normal extract. This will help you avoid rats, for example, and it'll help you avoid PvP, especially when you have some good loot that you want to get out with. So as I said already, try to do 2x events where you're allowed to use Raider hatch keys. And for example, I use the Blue Gate as my main map. And if I'm looking for a Raider hatch, I'm pretty much looking at Village, top right of Village. I'm always using the reinforced hatch around Raider's Refuge and in the forest area. Whenever I do checkpoint, I'm always using the fragrant hatch. And the chances of somebody waiting for you at a hatch are very slim because they don't know which hatch you're going to use. Whereas if, for example, the overlooked air shaft is the last extraction available on the map, they're going to be waiting there for people with loot. But you're already gone. You're in the fragrant hatch. My next tip is weapon mods. Use your guns to control your weapon mods. And what I mean by that is, instead of using up 3 spaces in your stash, put them onto a gun. And then you can put the gun here, take them off, and put them onto another gun. So each of my guns has mods on them that would be taking up space, as I just said, if I didn't already have them on my guns. So pretty much find a gun that doesn't have anything on it, go to weapon mods and pretty much add whatever you can to it, and then put that back into your stash. So use your weapon mods as a way of making more space. However, we're going to go one step further here and talk about the fact that guns lose value depending on their quality or on their durability. So 58 of 100 is reducing this Venator's value. And obviously the value is going to go up or down depending on if I have it upgraded or not. However, attachments never lose value because they don't have a durability and they don't have to be upgraded. So one horizontal grip is worth 7,000. If you compare that to pretty much every blueprint in the game, which is only worth 5,000, every time you get a gun in the game, or find a gun, or find attachments in the game, you're talking about selling the gun and you're selling the attachment. And a lot of the time, the attachment is worth more, not in this case, but in general, than the gun itself. So don't forget that. Attachments do not lose durability, and they can be sold for good money. The next thing I want to show you is kind of what to look for when you go into a building. And I'm not going to show you every single thing, but there are certain things that I'd recommend looking at. Red lockers is pretty much top priority. Whenever you go into a building, make sure you check out the red lockers. Another thing that I'd highly recommend checking is these pullouts here. They're very, very important usually. So you look for these white ones. There's 2 more just down this way that I'm going to grab. Hopefully I don't come across any other players. And there's literally 2 right here. And hopefully we get some good stuff from this. So drawers and cabinets are very important, but the most important thing to look for, apart from obviously gun cases themselves, here's one of those drawers I was talking about actually. So there's a good drawer there, lovely drawer. And apart from the gun cases and the ammo bags and the med bags, which are not common enough to be worried about now, the most important thing to check in this game, maybe you'll be able to guess it yourself while I'm still yapping, is the ashtrays. Make sure you check the ashtrays in this game. Whenever you see an ashtray in this game that hasn't been looted, get it straight away. It is pretty much the best place to find blueprints and all sorts of things. Knowing what to look for and knowing what to loot when you enter a building is very important, because a lot of newer players are going to be looting breachable items. And the thing about breachable items is they take time to breach, unfortunately. Another tip I want to give you is middle click everything. You have a wasp, it'll show you where it is, obviously. If it's far enough away, it'll tell you what region it's in. So you'll have a rocketeer spotted there, and you can see a lot of this stuff in the far distance. So make sure you middle click absolutely everything. Last example of me middle clicking is that guy all the way over there.
The water facility.
I know it's a snitch and I know it's at the water facility. I'm going to try and avoid that. If it was a bombardier lookout, I probably would go a bit closer, because it takes a while for them to catch on to you, and they're not going to bring in reinforcements. And you can also use the middle click method to see how far away a radar flare is from you if a radar flare goes off. Look out for these guys, and also crank your volume whenever you're looking for these, because they will start ticking like this within 30 meters. And I just gave this guy this one. This is a very important thing to look for, especially during special events, because you'll get some pretty good items in it. If you couldn't hear the ticket in the video, it's because this is very, very low. And I could hear it on my headphones, but I had to crank my volume all the way up. Not sure if it came through on OBS. You're going to have to listen very carefully for these things. And I hope that they increase the volume of them in the future, because it's way lower than anything else in the game. Just swinging back real quick to the radar hatch key. There's no one around, and I'm feeling pretty safe right now. I'm going to hit the radar hatch key, and then I'm going to hit the entrance. If you are getting downed by Ark, just wait until you get downed before hitting the button, unless there's somebody near you. Reason why is there's a bit of delay when you open it to when you can get in. And if you press the button, then get downed, it'll close, and now you're stuck. So I'm just going to hit this now. I'm going to wait for that little delay, and I'm going to return to Speranza. So thank you very much for watching today's video. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you guys in the next video.